I'm into odd evenings. So they say my poetry is missing the kufi like a rapper without ice. They say it's uncommon. And I say, nah, it's very common in Talib. And they said, but you're like the Jay-Z of spoken word. And I say, no, I'm more like the Raskars of Pharaoh Munch. Lyricism is a religion, and so I already have everything that I want. And they keep looking for my material possessions while I possess them with thoughts that haunt. And why would I need to see Jacob when I can bake up a cake of ideas to flow? And all he's got is those rocks, and so I'd rather be me. Because soon he won't be able to keep your attention unless he's got rims with spinning TVs. And they told him if you put ice in his mouth, you won't be able to see me. But it's not about whether you're balling now, player. It's about whether you still be balling in 23-3. So he go crazy and hire an entourage. Let's stay sane and higher self. That way I get to stay honest, take the crowd to their higher self. And I own everything that I write, so don't require higher sales. I'm into odd evenings, leaving my people believing in the righteousness about struggling just as well. That I'm cool as hills and never sound still whenever I tell them I love you. And right now I get to struggle with you, but when it's over for me, I can struggle from above you and still touch you in places you didn't even know existed. I might be gifted with wordplay, but what my words say is surely realistic, and it's not enough for me to get off and have y'all saying that I ripped it. What I'm about is when I leave out, what I put down, leaving you uplifted. Odd evenings, so the power of God is easing through the wires, and I breathe hot breath into this microphone until your soul catch a fire. Then I mix with bass and treble, leaving the ghetto knows the devil's a liar. Like I said, I aspire to inspire till this entire evil empire expires. Higher self is odd evenings, looking I'm breathing is pleasing to your innards, and how can I not be upset to keep feeding y'all Twinkies when I know spoken word got that home cooked dinner, plus the biscuits and the gravy while them lazy asses right nursery rhymes beginners. We got something for the saints and the sinners. We begin to send them in sinners in sin of the truth will hit you in your sinner. Spoken word is the future. Remember when you heard it first. Forget that commercial quarter water. This week's been poured to quench your thirst, and when I come down on stage, why don't you come up to me and see if I ain't down to earth, because I know that how you value your time is responsible for every cent that I'm worth. Odd evenings, leaving indelible fingerprints on your heart. That's why we come together in peace with pieces that put this stage apart. And I hate to see it end, so whenever I begin, I'm thinking, don't make me start, because life is so temporary that it only seems right to give thanks to God for these few odd evenings when we get to share this, the most spiritual art. I had a dream that I was in prison. I had a dream that I was in prison and I ran with a gang of poets. And all the other gangs were afraid to say our name, would do everything they could to maintain their distance, although resistance was futile. They would kill each other and insult each other, but they considered our truths too hostile. They didn't want us to take away the cartons of low self-esteem that society gave them, because that was all they had. And when we walked down the block, they were dipping their cells rather dwelling that hell than face the heaven that we were speaking. Rather see a fellow convict's blood leaking and have us reach into their heart, although all we ever said was that we loved them and wanted to save them, but every jewel we gave them just made them fear us more. And in the mess hall, they would rather gang war than sit at our table, although we carve right in and ain't none of us better, and we're all in this hell together, and what's most important is that we pose united in front of the seals and the warden, and although the poets might know a little bit more about the nature of our oppression, we're still all caught in the belly of the beast. And still the only ones who listen were the other poets and ones who needed to hear it the least. Oh, man. So we started flying these kites called heat. We told them each one teach one and each one reach one, because the place where we're from is a place where God lives. So they started with the room and the poets had the mark of the Most High on our eyelids. And poets started buying into it, getting all egotistical and believing that they were better than the other convicts. So I took it for as long as I could, then I stood in the middle of the cell block and I yelled out, whenever I write, I try to make sure that I give insight and vision. And I looked around and realized that the ones who needed to hear me the most still didn't listen. It was like the ones who needed to hear me the most still could not listen. The ones who needed to hear me the most still wouldn't listen. And that's when I woke up this morning and realized that I actually do live in that very prison.